Hi, it's Pete Cohen. Welcome to the podcast, How to Be a Power Poser. Yes, I know you're probably thinking, a poser? Pete, I don't want to be a poser. No, we're going to flip this on its head, as today in the podcast, I'm going to show you how to change your biochemistry, literally the way you feel, by changing your posture. But before we get on with the show, I want you to know that this podcast today is brought to you by my free Fear ebook. And when you download the Fear ebook, you also get the most incredible, powerful tool, which is a tool we call priming, which is about priming your mind to start feeling gratitude on a completely different level and start to train your mind to really focus on where it is that you're going. So simply head over to petecohen.com/fear. That's petecohen.com/fear. You can download the ebook, get the priming MP3, listen to it every day, and I guarantee you it's a massive, massive game changer. So let's get on with the show. So today's show is called How to Be a Powerful Poser. Now, we all know just how important the way we stand, our posture, our powerful poses. And when you think of people like, Wonder Woman, for example, when you think about how she stands, she stands in a powerful way. Now, why does she do that? Well, she's a fictional character, but I'm sorry if I've just spoilt that for many of you out there. But the reality is she's standing in a powerful pose because she's a powerful person. But we are like animals. And when you think of animals, when you think of, a gorilla, the way that they banging their chest, it's a powerful, powerful pose. And when you think of other strong animals, again, you think of the way that they stand. But it's the same when animals are kind of shy. Their posture also changes when they conform. And it's the same with human beings. If you want to change the way that you feel, is it possible to change your mind? Does your mind change the way you feel? Well, definitely. If you're feeling low, down, sad, depressed, lonely, your body follows suit. But what if you did it the other way around? What if you changed your body to change the way that you think? Is that possible? Yes, all of the social science really shows that. And what I want to share with you today, and there's an amazing TED Talk with a lady called Amy Cuddy, who's a social psychologist, and she's done loads of work in this field of non-verbal communication. Like, for example, now I'm giving you non-verbal communication as well as the communication I'm giving you through words by the way that I'm standing. And when I do podcasts, very rarely will I do it sitting down, because I know that my testosterone goes down and my cortisol actually goes up. So testosterone is the dominance hormone that we produce, and cortisol is the stress one. And what has actually been proven, it's fascinating when you go and look at Amy Cuddy's work, you can see the studies they did is basically seeing what happens to people when they assume a pose that maybe you would associate with someone who was worried or sad. And what's really interesting is the way we live our lives now. We spend more and more time sitting down watching a box, whether it's watching the computer or watching something on our television or even watching our phone. And just imagine how many people right now in the world, you may be even watching this on your phone, you're looking down, and be aware of what's happening to your neck and your back as you're going down. If you want to go down, you're going to feel down. In fact, what's really interesting is, from my background in psychology, knowing that when you look down, you feel down. I mean, just think for a moment, how many depressed people do you know who literally have a big posture and are looking up and going, this is where I'm going, looking up. In fact, everyone, do me a favor, if you can, if you're not driving a car, operating machinery, look up and feel down. In fact, when you do this, most people immediately look down because that's how they do it. There are simple solutions to all of our daily challenges that we face. And one of the daily challenges that we face is the way that we feel. And some studies have shown, even by people putting a pen in their mouth, which forces them to smile, can have a radical effect on their physiology, their psychology. And it is really the simple things that make the biggest difference. And many of you know at Mi365, we believe two fundamental things. We believe your future is unwritten and you have the power to change. To find that power often means, well, change your posture, a powerful posture. And Amy Cuddy's work, literally, they did some studies where they got people for 2 minutes to take on a powerful posture, which for me right now, feet shoulder width apart, hands on my hips, back straight, standing up, and here I am. And just by doing this for 2 minutes, what they observed is that for people that took on a pose like this compared to a pose which was the opposite of that, shrunk down, looking down, absolutely fascinating that the powerful pose, testosterone, which is this dominance hormone, goes up and cortisol comes down significantly. Cortisol is the stress hormone. And what is just as incredible was people take that pose of coming down, looking down, is testosterone goes down and the stress hormone goes up. So this is one of the things we used to do when I used to work with people who are having job interviews. Make sure before you go into the interview, you're not sitting down. You're already standing up. Your chemistry is alive. Look, we know that our bodies are designed to move. And if we move our body, all of the cells in our body get charged. The electron around the cell is like, whoa, I'm here, I'm ready, because that's what we are designed to do. And just take a moment to think of one of the greatest athletes of all time, Mr. Usain Bolt, and just think about that powerful pose. Now, I'm not suggesting that you go out and start doing Usain Bolt impersonations, but you could do. You might feel a little bit self-conscious, which is something that we'll look at in a minute. But when I was a sports psychologist, some of the athletes I used to work with, there's a footballer called Alan Shearer. Every time he used to score, he used to lift his arm up, and it was always the same thing. Always the same thing. And often people look to the sky, look to the heavens when they do something incredible. And I believe you do something incredible every single day just by looking to be the very, very best version of yourself. So I challenge you to take on board this right now. Stand up, listen if you can. Put your hands on your hips or one foot in front of the other. Put yourself in a powerful pose and do it for 2 minutes. And people think that, is this some kind of faking it until you make it? No, it's much bigger than that. And I want to explain it to you like this. Feelings follow behavior. Feelings follow behavior. So there are people all over the world that say, you know what, I just don't feel like it. I don't feel like exercising. I don't feel like cooking. I don't feel like talking to that person. I don't feel like making that extra phone call. I don't feel like it. And because they don't feel like it, they often do something which gives them a feeling. Eat, drink, take drugs, whatever it is, gamble, rather than realizing, no. My inspiration will come through me doing something. So through you behaving in a way, the feeling comes to you. And when you watch the Amy Cuddy TED Talk, which is all about the way that we stand, she told a story right at the end, and it reminded me of a story of myself. So for years, I felt very, very, very self-conscious. I really did not feel I was good enough. But I'd love to do though was play and go outside, and I love sport. So I bet if I hadn't done that, I reckon my powerful poses wouldn't have been powerful at all. I would have shrunk because I thought less than. I felt not as good as, which many people do. We talk about this a lot with Mi365. The software that is running our brains, running our bodies is, I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough the way that I am. But what was really interesting, and she talks about this story that she was studying and she was in a car accident, and she was told she wasn't going to be able to finish her studies. And she prided herself on being the very best that she can be. Her IQ actually came down from this accident. But she managed to make her way through, and then I think she was at Princeton University, and then she was asked to give a talk. And she really felt like she called up her tutor, her colleague, and said, look, I can't do this. And the colleague said, listen, you go out there and you fake it. You keep doing it and you keep doing it and you keep doing it and you keep doing it until you make it, until you just do it. And this is something that she did, and she became extremely good at it, and she became a lecturer. And then a very similar experience happened to her where a student came to her office and said, I can't do it. I feel like a fake. I feel like I'm not good enough. I'm not enough. And the key is we have to often do things until we become enough. So it's not faking it. It's doing it until you become enough. And I was exactly the same. I wanted people's attention. I wanted people to like me. I became a public speaker. I've spoken all over the world. And I was doing it in many cases because I felt really insecure and I wanted the world to tell me I was good enough. I'd be looking in the audience for the people perhaps who didn't want to be there, and I wanted to try to get them to like me and engage me, not engage me, I'm already engaged, I'm married. But it took me quite a few years to get to the point of realizing, listen, it's not about you, it's about me. And that's what Mi365 is about. It's about me. You as the individual, M-I, not M-E. M-I, the I being what you, and you being connected to something bigger than yourself, realizing that you do have gifts and talents that you can give to the world. But if you want to give them to the world, you better start taking on some more powerful poses. Practice it every day for 2 minutes and become the king of your own jungle. See what happens, when you're around other people. Observe their poses. We are in the animal kingdom. If you want to change how you feel, start off with something incredibly simple. I really hope that you've enjoyed this podcast. This is a very simple message, right? And if you want to put a pen in your mouth and walk around for a few minutes every day, I don't know, you might get some funny looks, but you might find that you start to change your biochemistry. You start to change the hormones, the ones that you want to use, and use less the ones like the stress hormones of cortisol, and you just become a better version of yourself. Everyone can do this. We really appreciate you listening. If you've enjoyed this, do us the favor of literally sharing it. Share it, make a comment, let the world know this information, because it's the simple things which make the biggest difference. And if you want to take this to a whole new level, like I said right at the beginning, go to petecohen.com/fear, get my free ebook about going from fear to fantastic, and download the most powerful MP3 I've ever put together. It's a technique called priming, which will really help you to build up gratitude and also help you to start creating a compelling future in your mind of where you are going. Your future is unwritten, and you, my friends, have the power to change. We will see you next time for another Mi365 podcast. Have a great day.